Hello and welcome back. We are on the Finish Your Background section of the project. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to start by exiting out of here, and we're going to go to our File Explorer folder at the bottom of our screen. I'm going to click on Documents, find my digital art folder, find my PowerPoint Fish project file, or folder rather, and then my file. And double click on the file to open it in PowerPoint. There is our current project. It's looking good. Got a couple more things we can talk about today. You want to add detail to your background. So perhaps you want to add maybe some seaweed. So I'm going to go to Shapes. I'm going to go to the Custom Shape tool. And none of this is really new today. It's just using the tool in a different way. So I have my Custom Shape tool. I'm going to create a very organic custom shape. So I'm going to click. Holding my mouse button down, I'm going to draw the shape of my seaweed all the way to the top, stop at the top, and I'm going to come back down. And when I get to the bottom, I'm going to end exactly where I started. Sometimes it's harder than others, and release. At this point, I have my little seaweed piece. I can create multiple examples of those. So shape, freeform shape. Start at the bottom and go up and come back down and end exactly where I started. Once it fills, you know you're back where you need to be. Now, I have two different shapes here. We could continue to draw multiple shapes, or you can use the shapes that you have. So I'm going to copy that shape and paste it. I'm going to grab the left side of that shape and drag it over to the right side, and that helps me flip it. I'm also going to resize it and make it thinner. So now, by combining those three, I've created some interesting seaweed. So I'm going to group those three items. So drag a large box around all three of them. Put my cursor on top of them. It changes to a cursor and a move tool. I'm going to right click, go to group, and group. Now they are one unit that I can put into my artwork. I'm going to start by adding some interesting color. So let's go to our paint bucket tool. We'll go to green and then maybe down to gradient and add a gradient to that. It's looking better already. All right, now I can do the same thing that we've been talking about with the other steps. I can copy this, paste it. I have a second example. I could resize this, put it in front, build more seaweed with it. Okay, or I can paste it, go to fill, texture, add a texture to the seaweed, take the transparency level down, layer it on top. Oh, you know what? I'm not liking that. And here's what I did wrong. So learning from your mistakes. I don't want to group this just yet. So I'm going to ungroup these pieces. Okay, I'm going to do them separately. So I'm going to copy this one and add a texture and take the transparency down. I have that piece. I'm going to get my second one, copy it, paste it, add a texture, and take the transparency down. And I'll do this on my last one too. Copy it, paste it, fill, texture, and take the transparency down. Now what I will do is I will put them back together. Like so. And I just have to get the layers right now. So this one is actually on the top, so I'm going to, what do we here? Let's do it this way. I'm going to separate it all out. This. And then I'm going to grab this first one, group it, group, group. Grab the second one, group, group, grab the last one, right click, group, group. Now that they're grouped separately, now I'll put it all back together and create my little interesting composition there. I think I like that. And I will then group that entire thing. I can resize and place this in the artwork. So I can create different elements. I can copy them. Whoops, I didn't want to copy just the piece. I can resize, flip, rotate, stretch, and start to build an interesting composition that way. I can also apply bevel to this and make these look three-dimensional and give them some real depth in the artwork. And look how cool they start to look. Not only can you do seaweed, you can do coral, you can do underwater boats, any details that you can think of, you can draw with that custom shape tool and add color to it and make something interesting. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put in a piece of coral. Remember, you can do this by starting with a shape. So maybe I'll start with a rectangle. Move it off to the side here. I'm going to edit my points, and I'm going to put in some additional, whoops, right click, edit points, additional points. And when I do this, I'm going to create more fluted triangular shapes. Something more like this. So this is going to become my coral piece. A little too big for that area, so I'll shrink it down. Something like that. And I'm going to do some really fun colors on this. So gradient, and I'm going to come in and maybe choose more colors. Let's go with a pink. And I'm going to have that go into maybe a orange. And then let's end with something really, really bright here with a purple. All right, so some really cool colors there for this piece of coral. I could add a texture to it. I don't have to, but I will definitely add a bevel to it. And adjust to make this look three-dimensional. All right, looking good. I'll put that in the bottom corner of my artwork there. I could make other coral and other things as well. So I hope this was helpful. Last thing that we need to do when we are saying done, it's ready to go, we are going to do our screenshot. So I'm going to go down to our Windows button. I'm going to click on our snip and sketch tool. Close out that old one. Click on the new one. My screen's going to go blank for a minute. I'm going to click, draw, and drag around my artwork. I want to make sure that I get that slide deck over there, so I'm seeing my fish and my background, a little bit of the program, my actual composition that I'm working on, and my file name is at the top. I'm going to hit the Save button. The Save button, I'm going to go ahead and put the lesson in. So this is lesson, let me think, 3.06, screenshot. And I'm going to hit Save. Beautiful. So now my screenshot's saved, so I'm going to put that screenshot into our progress sketchbook. So I'm going to Digital Art, click on Daily Lessons. In the Daily Lessons folder, I'm going to find the project folder. And so I'm in the project folder. The first item in there is the sketchbook, so I'm going to double click to open it. You will click the My Document tab or button, and your document will open, and it should look something like this. We're going to go to our next slide, which is slide number 7, finish the background. I feel pretty good about that background, so I'm going to paste that screenshot right into that lesson right there. Awesome, it's looking pretty good. So if you have any questions or concerns about finishing up your background, please reach out and let me know. If you have concerns about adding it to your sketchbook, please let me know. Otherwise, folks, enjoy the process.